My name is Rachel Kidman. I'm research faculty at Tulane. I joined the faculty about 3.5 years ago, right after graduate school, and I joined to continue doing research on children affected by AIDS. That was a topic I had felt very passionately about as a master's student and a PhD student, and was really committed to moving my research forward. And there were some great collaborators here at Tulane, so I came down to join a project that was looking at impact evaluations for programming for that population in South Africa. And I have been here working on several projects since. I first became interested in public health when I was doing a study abroad in Zimbabwe as an undergraduate student. And this was in the late 90s, and the AIDS epidemic was really taking hold then, but nobody was explicitly talking about it. It was sort of a hidden epidemic at that time. Despite that, I could really see the impact on the families I was living with. They were going to funerals on the weekends. They were starting to absorb orphans who had lost their parents to AIDS. And so you could really see the social and economic impact of the epidemic. And that's really what stoked my interest in public health generally, in the social dimensions of the AIDS epidemic more specifically. And I went back to school a few years later to get my master's in public health and decided to focus on that population. And I've continued to focus on them, looking at programming and best practices for that population during my master's, looking at the problems that are facing orphans, children living with sick parents, as part of my dissertation work as a PhD student. And now as a professor, I'm still working with that population, but my focus has shifted to defining interventions that are effective for that population. So rather than looking at the problems, we're really trying to find the solutions, and that's really exciting. I think as an incoming master's student, some students come in with a very clear picture of what they want their career to look like. Others are unsure and they want to explore a little bit while they're at Tulane or whatever public health program they decide to enroll in. And I think regardless of which set you fall into, you shouldn't be afraid to explore new opportunities. If there's a course that excites you, take it. If there is a professor doing research in an area that you think is really interesting, go knock on their door. They often have positions as research assistants on the project open, and you can get involved. There's a lecture series. Go to the lecture series. Make time to do that. And that doesn't mean just find those courses or those lecture series that are in what you sort of came here thinking you were going to do. You know, if you came here thinking you were going to do malaria research, but there's something on intimate partner violence and it's exciting, go try, you know, to take that course or listen to that lecture, because you're going to be doing this work for the rest of your life. So you want it to be fulfilling. And it's important to have a good skill set. It's important to have deep knowledge in your area, but it's equally important to be really passionate about what you're doing. So explore and be open to new possibilities.